Hello and welcome to this first lecture of this free-to-play game monetization course. Free-to-play, also referred to as F2P, is a name for the video game business model that allows players free access to a significant portion of the game content. In other words, players are granted access to a fully functional game, but must pay via so-called microtransactions to access additional content. So in that sense, free-to-play can be contrasted with pay-to-play, in which payment is required before using a service for the first time. The free-to-play model is a shift from the traditional model in the sense that previously success was measured by the number of units of a game sold. One would arrive at the total revenue by multiplying this number of units sold by the cover price of the game. With free-to-play, the two most important factors are the number of players that a game can continuously engage and the number of compelling spending opportunities the game offers its players. With free games that include in-game purchases, two particularly important things might occur. On the one hand, more people will try out the game since, well, it's free. On the other hand, the total revenue can be more than a traditional game, since players can now spend more than they might on a game with a fixed price. And it's not unlikely for some players to spend hundreds of dollars in a game that they enjoy. As mentioned in the introductory video, a good way to explain the free-to-play monetization model is by showcasing its role in the user revenue funnel. So let me visualize this role in relation to player acquisition and player retention. So here we have the funnel. At the top of the funnel, we pour in the unique visitors to your website, if you have an online game, or then the number of unique people viewing your app in any of the app stores. If we want to maximize monetization and optimize the results of our marketing efforts, we want the bottom of the funnel to be as wide as possible. We need to optimize every step of this funnel. So we need the unique visitors to register an account in your game or install your app. And next, we need these new players to actually turn into active players. Because frankly, inactive players don't spend much. This concludes the acquisition section of our funnel. Now we need to make the active players come back to the game, again and again, as often as possible. We have to maximize the time they spend in the game per session. And we should try to have them actively use our game as long as possible. In other words, increase their lifetime. So much for retention, which is the lifeline for monetization. If players keep coming back to the game, they must like it, right? They may like it enough to actually invest money in it. So every time they come back to the game and every minute they spend in the game, it's an opportunity for us to sell them something. So now we need to make them first-time buyers. This is called conversion. And then we have to maximize the amount of money they spend in the game, which is referred to as the average revenue per paying user. You may be familiar with the term ARPU, average revenue per user, but we have added the extra P to account for the fact that we are specifically going after paying users in this section of the funnel. Multiply the number of paying users by the average revenue per paying user to arrive at the total user revenue, which concludes the monetization section and is in fact the bottom of our funnel. As I said before, by optimizing every step in this user revenue funnel, we make sure the funnel is as wide as possible at the bottom. There are many buttons to push and levers to pull to get to the optimal result. In this course, we only focus on the monetization section of the user revenue funnel. So this concludes Lecture 1. I invite you to continue with Lecture 2, which is the first of 4 lectures on the art of getting more players to pay in your game. We're going to get very practical from here onwards.